Welcome to today's video where we'll be looking at the top 5 carbohydrate sources for building muscle. If you did miss out on the last video, be sure to check that out where I went over my top 5 protein sources for building muscle, and be on the lookout in the future for the top 5 fat sources for building muscle. But without further ado, let's hop right into these top 5 carbohydrate sources. And number 1 is potatoes in all varieties. It doesn't really matter. There's no specific one that is better than the other, and some do have varying benefits. But ultimately, the reason that I put it at number 1 on the list for top 5 carbohydrate sources for building muscle is it is rich in potassium and magnesium. There is some fiber, which is good for heart health, and then also that potassium is great for blood flow, which in general is just great overall for building muscle, as the blood flow going through your muscles is often what allows you to push that good amount of weight, which in turn makes those microfiber tears in your muscles, and as those get repaired, that is ultimately what allows you to get bigger. And then another thing with that is potatoes are one of the most filling foods, I believe actually are the most filling foods. I'll throw a chart up on screen right there for you guys to look at, but ultimately with that could be a double-edged sword. Obviously, if you're bulking, you might want to stay away from this carbohydrate source and not include too much of it, as you might be too full to eat all of your meals. But ultimately, if you're on a cut, it could be a great food to incorporate to keep you satiated. Alrighty, at number 2 on the list is ultimately oats, and specifically looking at the steel cut and old-fashioned oats. And the reasoning behind this is they do include some great antioxidants, minerals and vitamins, including manganese, phosphorus, magnesium, along with several others. And then also with that, because of the soluble fiber that you do find in oats, it is quite filling. But also in addition, that soluble fiber does improve insulin sensitivity, and then also can be shown to reduce cholesterol levels, which depending on the person could be a great thing. And then also with your oats, just a pro tip and something that I do love to include in my diet is I'll just make oats and throw in a scoop or 2 of protein, and then also can throw in some good natural fats like peanut butter or whatever nut butter you're into, and it makes a great meal all around in terms of protein, carbs, and fats. A little pro tip there. But without further ado, let's hop into the third source. The third carbohydrate source is ultimately rice, and this can be in any form, whether that is white rice, brown rice, jasmine rice. Rice cakes are even a really good option if you need a snack on the go, and it's just something that's easy and convenient, and you can get it in a variety of flavors, which is also awesome with rice cakes. But ultimately, the reason that I do put rice on is it's just a great energy source. That's why you see a lot of bodybuilders use it. It's pretty easy to digest when you are eating just plain white rice, and it can also be good for those benefits, controlling insulin sensitivity, as long as with other things. And with brown rice, there are quite a few minerals and vitamins included within it. But the thing is, with brown rice, you will get some more fiber, so it can be a bit harder to digest. But ultimately, it is very cheap, easy to get, and it's just a convenient source to throw in, especially when talking in terms of white rice or jasmine rice. And that is the reason that I do put it at number 3 on this list. At number 4 on the list, and one that might actually surprise you, is just berries, whether that be blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, doesn't actually matter. But ultimately, the reasoning behind that is they are a great pre and post workout snack to get some sugars in, get that protein synthesis rolling, and then also with that, they do have a great amount of antioxidants. And then they do have some anti-inflammatory principles that are associated with them, which could be highly beneficial for people that are training in the gym and are getting some inflammatory issues happening, whether that be in your joints. Obviously, just associated with lifting heavy, you will have some inflammatory problems, whether it's noticeable by you or not, with just intense training in general. And then also berries in general are rich in fiber and different vitamins, which can be just great to include in your diet, as you're most likely not eating enough leafy green vegetables or other sources of good vitamins. And then with that, I guess I just hinted at number 5. Alrighty, at number 5 on the list is ultimately leafy green vegetables. And the reason that I do put leafy green vegetables on there is obviously they are just rich in vitamins and minerals. That's ultimately why any person that ever does dietary recommendations will say to eat your fruits and veggies. But ultimately, the reasoning behind that is just to get your vitamins and minerals in. And then also some great anti-inflammatory principles along with those berries that I did mention at number 4 on the list. And then also with that, I just find leafy green vegetables are easier to digest than some of the other veggies, like your broccolis or your green beans and some of the like traditional ones that you would see in most bodybuilding meals. And that is ultimately the reason that I do put it above that broccoli or green beans or asparagus even. With that, it's just easier to digest, and ultimately when foods are a bit easier to digest, it just allows me personally to train a lot harder and just feel better in general throughout the day and get in all of my meals to make sure I'm hitting my macronutrient goals. So with that, hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy this list of carbohydrate sources and be on the lookout for that list of fat sources to be coming in the near future. And if you did go on to enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, comment down below any questions, comments, concerns you may have, and definitely subscribe to the channel if you have been enjoying the content at any point, as it does help me out a ton. And with that, just have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.